Other than the shutter, the rangefinder. Well, I want to talk about the rangefinder. In general, on the Contax is pretty well built. What I'm saying is, out of this year's, it's hard to find, especially the 2A and 3A. It's hard to find one that's misaligned. Also, same as the Contax 2. I haven't seen one that has a bad rangefinder need to calibrate, any calibration, which is kind of nice. I was told inside they don't use mirror, they use prisms. That's why they were able to keep the accuracy. However, if you do go out of calibration, I think it takes a lot to calibrate it. Excuse me. So I think I'm not a repair person. I don't know, but I read somewhere that you have to take the whole top off to actually get to the right adjustment screws. So that's one of the not so great thing. The other thing about something to watch out for is these take-up spools. These are OEM Contax spools. They are on the Contax 2, it's a metal spool. But on the Contax 2A, it's actually plastic. These are all OEM because you can see that it's says stamped Contax on it. Sometimes when you buy one of these cameras, the take-off spool is missing. So by the time you get the camera, you can't really shoot it until you can find a replacement take-off spool. If you don't have anywhere near to help you with that, you can always salvage one from an old film canister. It will work as long as you have this horizontal bar here. See that right there? It will work. You just really have to make sure that, and then you will tape your film leader to the spool, because the Contax have a slot you can put your film through, but the salvaged, basically non-reusable canister have the plastic spool. They're not made like this, so you have to do that. The other alternative is you can order a Kiev take-up spool, but this is made out of metal, it's working with a Contax. Look, it's kind of a little bit smaller in diameter as the OEM one. It will work, but they do cost quite a bit for what it is, and you had to order overseas, so you might have to wait for like almost a month before this thing show up. So when you buy the camera, make sure the take-up spool. Don't just get excited about the camera and take it home. Try, check everything about the camera, the shutter speed, the aperture, not the aperture, but the rangefinder if you can. If you come with the lens, that'd be great. Is make sure the take-up spool is included. So that's something that highly recommend for you to do if you wanna, buy the camera, bring it home, and try to use it. Also, other than that, I think these Contax are great cameras. It's super, how should I say? Well, shoot with them feels like a really vintage feel. They are. I mean, they came out like what 70 years ago, so they're great. They're very well made. Especially, I really like the 2A because it's almost like the same height as one of those screw mount rangefinder, like a 3C or a 3F or something like that. But I think the Contax is a little bit narrower than I think. It's very small. It's very comfortable. One thing about any camera is that it has to be comfortable in your hand and inspire you to shoot more. So, and I think these camera does that. I don't really use as often as I'd like. That's because I have different alternatives. Other cameras I'll be doing some of the review with you in the later days. But if you want something like a vintage rangefinder camera especially with interchangeable lens capability, these are hard to beat. So highly recommend you look into this. On the front here, this is the self timer. So they all come with a self timer. So you know, in case you need to do a selfie or something, it's there. Other than that, yep, all the contacts are fine. Yeah, just make sure you pick one that works, and also keep an eye on too that make sure that you know the viewfinder is clear, it doesn't have a lot of debris in there. Look through the viewfinder to see if the rangefinder patch is you know, bright enough, because over time it might get dirty. You know, you have to have somebody service the rangefinder before you can see a bright image. Some are pretty good. So on these ones I have, other than this Contax basically is it's a shelf display item, but on the 2A it's pretty bright. It just, the viewfinder is very tiny, so you know, I wear glasses, so it's a little tough to look through it, but it still works really well. I would highly recommend if you can find a good copy in your area or online.